Hello, my stamping friends. This is Renae Novak at BlessedByCards.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States, and I'm here today with another Make It Monday tutorial. Today, we're going to use the Sweet Conversations stamp set, and we're going to create some cute little Valentine's Day treat boxes. So this is a really great bundle that's available in the January to June mini catalog. The first thing you're going to need is a piece of cardstock that measures 6.5 by 5. And you're going to do a little scoring, either in your scoring tool or with your bone folder in your cutter. And you're going to you're going to score it at 1/2 inch, 1.5, 2.5, 3, 4, and 5. Now all of the measurements and the scoring and the instructions will be available in a free PDF download on my blog, so don't feel like you have to write this down, but you certainly can and stamp along with me. But again, this will be available for you if you don't want to write it down now. So after you get done scoring in the landscape position, which is the long across the top, you're going to rotate it. And in portrait position, which is the short across the top, you're going to score it at 1 inch and 4 inches. And then you're going to take your paper snips and we're going to cut off all 4 corners. Now, if you look at the corners, there's 2 scoring sections on each corner, and we're going to simply snip off all the 4 corners, and we're taking 2 of those pieces off. And we're going to do that to each corner. We're just going to simply snip it out of there. And then we're going to flip it over on this side and snip it out of this corner, all 4 corners, taking 2 little sections off of each corner. Okay, then you're going to be left with something like this. Now, I like to do my cutting first and then my scoring, but it's certainly up to you how you want to do it. It's easier for me to see, and then I can come back in along, and if there's any little pieces that I think that I need to pretty up so that we can have this box go together more smoothly, I just go back now and then cut along all those edges, because sometimes when you fold it and then cut, it's kind of hard to see. So for me, I like to do it this way. Okay, so after you get all of those 4 corners cut out, you're going to want to make a slit up of the other 2 folds. So on each side, you're going to cut up to the first score line. Make those 2 cuts, and then you're going to make these 2 cuts. And this is going to give you the little tabs for your box. Okay, so now all you have to do is just use your bone folder, grab it, and score on each one of those sections, and we're going to create this sweet little box. So I'm just simply scoring along all those edges, and then on this one, this is where I like to fold it and make sure it goes up straight right onto where I need it to be, and then I just simply score down here. And for this one, I can see that it's just a little bit off, so I'm going to just bring my paper snips in and cut just a little bit more off of that edge so that when I fold it up, it folds up into the box nicely. So do the same thing for the other side. If it's a little cattywampus, just bring in your snips and just cut that right off, and then when it folds up, it folds right on top of the other portion. That's just my way of doing things, but you can certainly score and then cut. Okay, so then we have our box, and now we're going to do a little decorating. So for this one, what I did was I cut these strips, and they measure 3/4, my cheat sheet here, 3/4 by 2 3/4, and that's going to go on both sides. So you're going to need 2 of those. And then you're going to need a piece that measures 3/4 by 1 1/4. And you're going to need 2 of those because those go on the end. So if you're doing designer series paper, just make sure that your direction is going the correct way when you put them on. But you're not going to glue them on this first tab here. You're going to put them on the closest to the bottom. So if you think of this as the bottom of your box, then these two sections right above and below will be the ones where you put your designer series paper, or in this case, the designer series paper I created. So let me just show you how I did that. Okay, so I'm just going to bring in this little scrap here. And I took the, oop, there goes my ribbon. I'm taking the 3 hearts and some real red ink. And I'm going to sauce that up. And I'm going to show you how I created this designer series paper. So what I wanted to do was to kind of make them evenly and still upright hearts. So I stamped in the middle. And then I stamped the next one right next to it in the middle. And then I flipped it around so that the hearts kind of married in each other. And that gave that like a kind of continuous look on my little tiny piece. And then for this one, I did the same thing, only upside down. And then you have that uniform look of the hearts that are going to go on the panel. And you did that from the 3 set that was included in that stamp set. So for today, since I already have this sample for you to see, I thought it would be fun if we did a totally different box. And it's the same cut, same scoring measurements, same everything, except I used the big heart that was in the stamp set. And so I stamped that in real red, and this is the same measurements with the 4 corners cut off and everything folded. And so instead of putting my panels on, I just stamped directly onto the box. Now I will tell you for this one, I used the extra thick white cardstock to give it a little more stability. So I used the thick white cardstock for this one. Okay, so on this box, what you're going to do is you're going to put glue on these tabs. So it's easier for me if I just remember to lay it down, and these tabs that are here, that's where I'm going to put my glue. So I'm going to use a little of the liquid glue, and I'm putting that on there, and I'm just going to bring that box up in that corner, and I'm going to secure that right there on the end. And then I'm going to put a little more glue on this tab, and I'm going to bring that on this side. Kind of line up that corner, hold it for a little bit. When I'm putting together boxes, I do like the liquid glue because it gives me a little wiggle room if I want to finagle that box right into the corner. But you do want to use a very strong adhesive. If you're not going to use the liquid glue, then I would recommend either the Tear and Tape or the Stamp and Seal Plus. And again, I just kind of got that right in the corner. And that's how sweet this little box comes together. Okay, I'm going to put my glue away because I don't need that right now. And then this is going to just fold up, and you're going to put your little treat right inside here. Now, I'll tell you, I don't have my candy bars because it did snow here 10 inches, and I haven't had a chance to get out and get those candy bars. But you would put your treats in here, either a mini candy bar or some kisses, maybe some candy kisses. And then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to put your ribbon on. And I'm going to just make sure these are, I don't want to glue them because if somebody gets in this, I don't want them to have to rip the box. So I'm just going to kind of make sure that they're together. And then I'm going to take my hole punch And I'm just going to punch out 2 little punches. And I just kind of eyeballed those up. Okay, and then I'm going to grab my red ribbon, and I'm just going to feed it through. And feed it through this side. And again, you'll have your treats inside. So, and then you're going to do the same thing on this side. Just feed that ribbon through. I think I cut about 10 inches or so of ribbon. So you can, if you're doing yours, you can leave it on the spool, or you can cut extra ribbon to make sure you have enough to make a simple bow or a knot. And I think for this one, I'm just going to make a simple little knot. I'm going to tie that up there. Easier said than done, right? It's slippery. Okay, I'm just going to feed that through there. And I'm going to put that right up here. Get that a little bit in the middle. And there you have a little knot to close it. I'm not going to tie it real tight since I don't have my candy in there. I'm going to want to be able to take that out. This one, and I use some white embossing powder and the heat tool to emboss this. On the one where I created the Designer Series paper, I simply just stamped in real red, and this is on a rectangle from the Stitched Rectangles, and I just cut a little flag for this one. And then on the one where I stamped with the small hearts, I just stamped on the white. I did the embossing, and I added a little white heart and tied a little bow. So there's the bow, and there's the knot, and this one, of course, has the white bow. For this one, I think I'm just going to leave it with the white embossed Happy Valentine's Day, and we'll just add a little bit of rhinestone bling. Bring in my pokey tool, and I'm just going to grab one of these, and I'm just going to stick that right on there. And since I have 2 here, maybe I will just grab this one as well and put that right up here. Whoops! There we go. And there you have it, your sweet little Valentine's tag. Now you can put some adhesive on that and stick it on there, but I think I'm just going to grab a glue dot, and I'm just going to stick that right down on the glue dot, and I'm just going to add that sweet little tag to the box. So there you have it, another Make It Monday tutorial, little Valentine's sweet treat box. This is the one using the larger hearts. This is the one using the small hearts. Both of these were stamped on thick white cardstock. And then here is the other one that I created out of red and made the Designer Series paper from the 3 small hearts in the Sweet Conversation stamp set. And so that is my Make It Monday. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for joining me. And be sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any future videos. Share it with your friends. And be sure to come back next Monday for another Make It Monday tutorial. So until then, be blessed.